Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Dai, and today I am sharing with you my first impressions on the Monochrome Manga Club series reads for October. The Monochrome Manga Club is an in-real-life manga club that I host at a local Barnes & Noble. Each month we read 2 first-in-a-series reads, and we are also doing 2 series reads. So the selections for October were Volume 1 of Seraph of the End, Vampire Reign, story by Takaya Kagami, art by Yamato Yamamoto, storyboards by Daisuke Furuya, published by Viz, rated teen plus, so older teen. And we also read Volume 1 of Ghost Reaper Girl by Akisa Saike. This one is also published by Viz, rated teen, older teen. So I will be talking about those 2 volumes in this video. We have also done 2 series reads though, and I will not be sharing my thoughts with you on these, but they are Demon Slayer Volumes 7 and 8 by Koyoharu Gotoge, published by Viz, rated teen. I will be talking about this along with Sailor Moon Eternal Edition Volume 7 by Naoko Takeuchi. This one is rated teen, published by Kodansha. I will be talking about these 2 series reads in my Desus 19 diaries for the week. So if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on these, definitely check out my diary entry that will be up on Wednesday. But for now, let me give you my first impressions on these 2 series. So we'll start with Ghost Reaper Girl. So you can see that this one is flipped. This is by request of the mangaka. There is a note in the back that states that. And so it was really interesting to read that way. I did have to remind myself not to read in the normal manga direction, but it wasn't too difficult for me. So this story follows a 28-year-old woman who is trying to become an actress, and she gets hindered by the fact that she has these impulsive bouts of anger. At least that's what it says on the back of this cover. I think it's important to note that the reason she has these spontaneous bouts of anger is because she is constantly getting hit on by perverts when she goes to audition for roles. And that angers her, as it should. So that is why she has an anger issue, as so mentioned on the back. But I feel that it's not really well presented, the fact that they do not state that that's the reason. I mean, it's a valid reason, but they kind of make it seem like she just has these bouts of anger for no reason. At least that's how I read it on the back. But she actually does get these bouts of anger because whenever she goes to audition, she gets hit on inappropriately. And so that is why. But anyway, she's trying to make it out there, but all of the people that she auditions for try to hit on her, and she gets pissed off. So she's only had like these bit roles and like kind of like dead body roles where she's just like laying as a dead body kind of thing, background roles and things like that. Well, one day when she goes to audition for a role, she gets hit on by the guy that is auditioning people for the role. Turns out that guy is actually possessed by some supernatural entities, and she is being attacked, but then gets saved by this guy. This guy is a spirit. He is from the realm of Hades, or that's what he says. Basically, he talks about it being like the afterlife, and he is able to come to the human plane, or the living plane, and vanquish these entities and basically take them back. When he meets our main character here, she actually has this ability where her body can be possessed by lots of other spirits. So that makes her really desirable to other like spirits and things, because if they can inhabit a human body, they can wreak more havoc than they already do. And so throughout this volume, he kind of negotiates with her to try to like pair up. because he is more powerful if he can also possess a human body. So they kind of make a contract in order to vanquish these demons from the human living like plane. I thought this volume was really entertaining. It was more like TV show watching than actually reading. So I like really flew through this volume. I thought a lot of the things that happened were interesting. I did find that because our mangaka is male, that the whole like being hit on, our main character being hit on by the producers and things, kind of interesting. Is something to be addressing in their work, because while I would have expected that kind of thing to be shown in a work from a female manga artist, I wouldn't have expected it so much from a male. So it was kind of refreshing to see that kind of content being addressed. Now, while that stuff is addressed, when our main character here transforms, she does do like the whole magical girl thing. Her outfit is on the skimpy side, so there's that. But Ghost Reaper Girl is in reference to a character that she had played before. So it was one of her like actual roles. And it turns out that our spirit guy here is a fan. He's watched all of the shows that she was in, even if she was just a dead body. And so I thought that was interesting. And while I don't like the whole skimpy outfit thing, it's understandable that she like transforms into this character because he is a fan of that character, and that's the outfit that she wore as that character. So I can give that a pass. Like I said, it was really entertaining. I was talking about this volume with my daughter, and she kind of mentioned that it kind of gave her Shugo Chara vibes, which, if you don't know Shugo Chara, it's a magical girl series that follows a child who finds these little like fairy things, and she's able to do magical transformations, and depending on which one kind of aids her in that magical transformation, she has certain abilities. So with each of the little fairies that she teams up with, they all have different abilities, and so depending on which one she uses, those are the abilities she's able to have for that transformation. I kind of feel like that's how this is going to go from here on out. Now, whether or not we're going to see any more people that our character kind of teams up with later, that'll be something to be looking forward to, I think. But so far, so good. I found it interesting and entertaining enough that I'm willing to continue. I did really like the art style. I will flip to the beginning pages for you so that you can see a little bit. But the art style for me was very nice. And the little ghosties kind of reminded me of like an evil Slimer. So while they're supposed to be like troublesome, they're still on the cute side for me. And so I really, really enjoyed reading this volume. I'm interested to see where this story is going to go. And so I'm glad we read that one. So that is Ghost Reaper Girl Volume 1. And then we also read Volume 1 of Seraph of the End Vampire Reign. So in this series, we are following an orphanage. We open up with a new kid coming to an orphanage, and he's very like standoffish. He doesn't want to be friends with anybody. He doesn't want to be part of their family. He just wants to be left alone. And shortly after he arrives, he meets Mika, and Mika is the oldest of the children at the orphanage, and Mika just keeps trying to reach out. And you know, our main character here, what's his name? Yuichiro, just doesn't want to have anything to do with it. And then the, like, keeper of the orphanage collapses. There's an announcement over this PA system that says that a virus was released by the humans that will kill anybody over the age of 13, and now the vampires are taking over. So when we start off this volume, our main two boys, Yuichiro and Mika, are like 8 years old, and then we do a time skip, and then they're 12 years old, and then things have, kind of changed for them with the vampires being in control. There are things that they are being made to do as, like, I guess the slaves of the vampires, because now they're kind of like the meal providers for the rulers of the world, because obviously vampires consume blood. And so the world has changed. They need to do what they need to do to get by, and that kind of means two different things from Yuichiro to Mika. So they're kind of dealing with that internally, plus trying to take care of the other kids that they've been taking care of since all of the adults have passed away. So all of the other kids that were at the orphanage at the time when the virus was released. It gets to a point where Yuichiro and Mika decide that it's time to try to leave the area, try to make it on their own. And so they try to make an escape, but they are not successful. So everybody but Yuichiro kind of gets wiped out, and Yuichiro is able to make it out as the sole survivor of his family. And it turns out that the world is not what they were told. There is a world out there where there are adults. And so he figures out that he's been lied to this entire time, and now he has anger within him. So he is now on his life's mission to vanquish all the vampires that exist. So I think that's probably the best way to sum up what has happened in this first volume without getting extra spoilery. But there are definite things that happen through each section of the story. There are 2 time skips just within this volume. So like I said, we start off with Yuichiro and Mika being 8. Then we meet up with them again when they're 12. And then I think we meet up with Yuichiro when he is 17 or so. And so, yeah, I did try to watch this anime a while back with my daughter, because my daughter really loves this series. And apparently I fell asleep halfway through the first episode. I do remember some of the stuff that happens in this volume, having watched it. So I guess some of it stuck with me. I will tell you that I enjoyed what I read so far. So I am pretty interested in continuing with this series. I will also say, though, that I am not impressed with Yuichiro at all. And it may just be because I am an adult and a parent, and I do not enjoy his attitude. Now, while it's understandable that, he's the way he is, and there are reasons why he acts the way he does, I just want to give him a swift kick in the butt. For me, watching him at 8 and then 12 and now 16 or 17 years old, and things have not changed, he hasn't grown up at all. At least it doesn't seem that way to me. And it feels like he really needs like an adult in his life, and he hasn't had that. So I'm kind of hoping that, as we get further on into the series, with the things that he's trying to do, like get into this elite squad to become the people who take out these vampires, he'll be working under like an adult, a mentor, somebody he can look up to that will help him grow up. At least that's what I'm hoping. For now, this volume was very entertaining to me. There were definitely some comedic moments, even with everything bad that happens to Yuichiro. There are still some uplifting and light things that happen in here. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where this story goes, especially with the little kind of cliffhanger that we're left with at the end of this volume. And so, yeah, I'm glad I gave this series another shot. I think maybe I just wasn't in the right frame of mind or in the right mood to have started this series when I did try to watch it in animated form. But now that I've read this volume and can really get a taste of what this series is about, I'm interested. And so I'll definitely be continuing. I obviously have whatever is out so far because, like I said, my daughter is a fan. And so, yes, glad to have finally gotten into that one. We'll definitely be continuing with that. And that's my thoughts on both of those volumes. So, for the month of November, I do want to let you know what our selections will be. We will be reading Volume 1 of Mission Yozakura Family. So this is story and art by Hitsuji Gondaira. This one's published by Viz and is rated teen. This is a story about high school students. One of them is an orphan, and the only one that seems to care for him is his childhood friend and classmate, who is Mutsumi, and she's female. Mutsumi, though, is part of a family of spies, and when her parents are taken out, she becomes the head of the family because that's how the head is passed down through the female side of the family. And so now that the head of this family of spies is a young female, there are other people out to get her and take her out. So in order to solidify her place in the family, she needs to marry. And so that's kind of how Tayo gets associated with the family. And Tayo has some history of his own that he's trying to figure out. And so Tayo gets introduced to this spy life where he needs to not only prove that he is an acceptable match for Mutsumi, but also learn how to take care of himself and keep Mutsumi safe from all the people that are after her. So what I've told you is slightly different from what's on the back of this volume. I started reading this series from the Shonen Jump app several years ago when they were releasing free chapters, and I fell behind and was unable to continue because I didn't have a Shonen Jump app membership at the time. I do now, but I'm really glad that it has started coming out physically because I really enjoyed what I read of this series. And so I'm looking forward to revisiting the beginning of the series with my Manga Club members. And I'm glad that that one's out physically and that I can collect it because, like I said, I really enjoyed what I had read up into when I was unable to keep up with the free chapters. So our other first in the series volume that we will be reading is going to be, by popular vote of the Manga Club members, Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 1. Jujutsu Kaisen is by Gege Akutami and it is rated older teen, published by Viz. So I know this one is really popular at the moment, and truthfully, I don't know what it's about because it's not been one that I've been interested in. So let me read you a summary. It is about a guy who's resolved to save the world from cursed demons, but soon learns the best way to do it is to slowly lose his humanity and become one himself. Okay. That does sound interesting to me. I think if you know me at all, you know that I don't like to get into hype things because I tend to not enjoy it. But because my Manga Club members wanted to read this one so badly, I acquiesced to their request, and so we will be reading this one for November. So I will actually be reading that one from the Shonen Jump app because I do not have a physical copy. Yes, those will be our two first in a series reads for November, along with our continuing series reads of Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, with reading volumes 9 and 10. And we will also be reading volume 8 of the Eternal Edition of Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon by Naoko Takeuchi. And so, yes. something a little bit different. I know I normally tell you guys that if you want to read along these volumes and share your thoughts with me in the comments of these series first impressions videos at the end of the month, you can. And while you can still do that, we have come up with a little bit of a hiccup for our December meeting. And so we have decided to open a Discord so that we can hold our December meeting there. So I am opening up the Discord to you guys. If you are interested in reading any of the Monochrome Manga Club series reads for the month and would like to discuss them with other people, you can do so by joining our Discord, which is linked down in the description box below. Please know that the chat threads for the Monochrome Manga Club selections will be posted but not open to chat until the day after our Manga Club meeting has been completed. So as of the day that you are seeing this video, the threads for October's reads are open. So if you'd like to discuss Seraph of the End Volume 1 or Ghost Reaper Girl Volume 1 or Volume 7 and 8 of Demon Slayer or Volume 7 of Sailor Moon in the Eternal Edition, you can do so right now at the Discord linked in the description box below. Please note that we do have children members there because I do have children that meet with me in person. So just remember that and keep your chat clean as well as the images that you share. And yeah, so if you'd like to read along any of the selections or come to chat anytime, you can do that. Link is down in the description box below. And if nothing else, and you'd just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me a ghost emoji down in the comments below, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out. And that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.